Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Brussels and the 12th Air Transport IT Summit. It's great to see so many people, over 300 in the audience today from over 60 countries and representing more than 130 organizations here. The SITA and Airline Business Air Transport IT Summit has truly become the leading forum to discuss technology advances that shape and influence our industry. This year, we have another awesome lineup of speakers from across air transport and across the globe to share their visions and experience on the game-changing trends that are driving technology innovation in our business. One of the reasons we stay in the forefront of information technology is because we are a growth industry, but we work within the constraints of very limited airport and airspace capacity. Today we have around 4.7 billion passenger movements through our airports, but by 2020 this will be up to something like 7.5 billion. So we need to handle another 2.8 billion passenger movements. Finding the right business processes enabled by technologies to manage this is going to be absolutely crucial if we are to provide not just acceptable levels of customer service, but also to deliver on our vision of seamless global travel for our customers. Now, these days, our customers, including all of these extra people traveling, are going to be a lot more tech-savvy than they used to be. They will be Generation X and Generation Y and probably Generation Z by then, who've been born into the digital world. These days, we also all travel with our own technology in the form of smartphones and iPads and laptops. So a key priority for innovation in the industry today is centered on how we can link our technology to our customers' technology. And one of the most important trends for a customer-facing industry like ours is that our customers' technology is advancing a lot faster than ours. So we're going to be playing catch-up. It was only last year that the iPad was launched. This year we've already seen iPad 2 released. And personally, I'm really hoping for iPad 3 out by early next year. Consumer mobility is also driving other consumer trends because people can now be constantly connected and do the things they want more often and at much more convenient times. This is making social networks like Facebook much more valuable, not only to users, but also to us in air transport. I think we're going to be hearing something about that later. We want to connect not just with our customers, but with their friends and families who are going to be our potential future customers. Increasingly, I believe social networks will influence who you decide to fly with. How to effectively monetize and get a return from social networks, though, is a big question that still needs to be answered, and something that we will no doubt discuss in the afternoon sessions. Personally, I'm absolutely clear any organization that cares about its customers should be out there networking. Companies need different mindsets to play in this new world. So we have all these social and consumer trends going on, as well as the usual boom-to-bust economic cycles that impact our industry. There are also the technology megatrends to consider and how they help us to ride out the busts and, of course, make the most of the booms. I've got 4 big C megatrends for you today: convergence, communications, connectivity, and, of course, the cloud. First, convergence. Voice data convergence and hardware convergence, with smart devices replacing what would have previously needed multiple pieces of kit. Mobile phones with cameras are an obvious example, but we use our PC screen to watch TV and gaming technology to watch DVDs these days. Seems to me personally obvious that soon aircraft will not need the type of seat-back in-flight entertainment systems that airlines spend tens of millions on today. This is going to introduce ever more dependence on IT for onboard reliability. Airline CIOs and directors of engineering need to work closely together here. Second, there is communications. Everything is going to be connected to everything else through IP addresses. So everything will be talking and exchanging huge volumes of data. Coping with that mass of data, Storing, processing, transporting it is going to need a fundamentally new approach. Just think about the sensor technology, NFC, Bluetooth, RFID, that the industry will be introducing at different points of the customer journey, both for passengers and their baggage. And, of course, there's going to be biometric data to process as well. We airline IT directors and CIOs are going to need to make sense of all that data and turn it into useful information. Airline and airport business intelligence is clearly going to reach new levels of capability and become a lot more sophisticated. So I believe that the winners in this field will be those airlines that are able to anticipate and solve problems before they happen. And this will drive step-change improvements in personalization and, of course, loyalty. For those of you who attended the SITA Industry Insight sessions yesterday, you already have had a foretaste of some of this, and later today we'll be launching the latest IT trends results, which give us a fascinating snapshot of where we are in terms of adoption and where we are going. We've put together an exciting video as a taster that will be shown this afternoon. So I've talked about two of the game changers, communication and convergence. I'm not going to steal the thunder from many of my fellow speakers today, so I'll limit myself to a quick mention of the other two further game changers that I personally see having an enormous impact on the way the air transport industry does business. My third megatrend is connectivity. Mobility in a connected world. There are some 5 billion mobile telephones on this planet. No other technology has unleashed the remarkable global change that mobile telephones have in so short a time. And we've not seen anything yet. The real impact of mobile communications is yet to come. Thanks to the continual drop in semiconductor prices, we'll soon see smartphones at unbelievable price points. I predict they will be outselling personal computers by the end of the year. That is coupled with a huge industry of application developers that see the mobile space as a game changer. We will see leaps similar to those that transformed the computer industry. And those of you tech geeks like me who saw Steve Jobs' keynote at the Apple Developer Conference, which appeared to be a semi-religious event, will just understand how really cool apps development is at the moment. Those leaps will bring major customer service benefits for passengers. The growth of location-based services, for example, will give passengers information immediately relevant to their location and step in the journey. It will also provide huge productivity and efficiency gains in areas such as ground ops and maintenance and repair, as airline and airport employees get the information they need much faster and manual tasks can be much more automated. My fourth and final big C megatrend is the move of everything to the cloud. We've been doing this gradually with our daily lives. First, it was just Hotmail, then Skype, Flickr, Facebook, YouTube, and now Twitter. Last year, I took a quick poll of how many in the room were using Twitter. There were just a few hands, so indulge me again. Please raise your hand if you are using it today. Yep, considerably more. The hashtag for this conference is #ATIS, #ATIS. Hi, Claudia. Seabird20. I've already got my convergence, comms, connectivity, and cloud up there. Thank you very much. Saved me the trouble. But you can absolutely see how connected everyone is and how we can be followed outside this room. But going back to cloud computing, it was one of my big C's that I talked about last year. This is really going to change the way our and every industry uses IT. It will help us process and store all that data I mentioned earlier at low costs. We could access the costs of the big players. We could have only dreamed about this a few years ago. Of course, SITA has launched the air transport industry's own cloud. This is a cloud we can trust, since we, the air transport industry, own it. In addition, SITA will also encourage software developers to build specialized products and services for the air transport industry app store, in exactly the same way we all use app stores on our different mobile platforms. So expect a whole futuristic wave of open innovation over the next few years. CIOs and IT directors have to be open to these new low costs. I believe that the IT and business leaders who see and understand the significance of these customer technology changes now underway will be those who are best placed to make their organizations the winners in the next wave of IT-enabled business revolutions. Speed and agility are going to be essential. Technology is moving faster than we can define and implement business models around it. Take the humble 2D barcoded boarding pass. This is a great example of the speed of change in the new world. Industry adoption was only completed at the end of last year. For passengers to use them on their mobile devices and do self-scanning at the gates or other touchpoints requires the deployment of literally thousands of optical readers at airports around the world. But these smartphones and other mobile devices that passengers now travel with are starting to be shipped with sensor devices like near-field communication, NFC and Wi-Fi, which don't need the optical readers. We're going to be increasingly faced with this sort of dilemma that rapid changes in consumer technology will throw at us. Which horses do we back? Are we leading-edge IT adopters or IT fast followers? These are business decisions, not just for the CIO to worry about, but also for CEOs. That's why I'm absolutely delighted we have so many CEOs speaking to us today. So with that, let me turn to the great speaker lineup we have. It really is awesome this year. The first session of the day is devoted to a view from the very top. We've assembled our strongest ever panel of industry leaders. First of all, we are greatly honoured to have with us Peter Hartmann, President and Chief Executive Officer of KLM, which since its 2004 merger with Air France is now part of the largest European airline group. Peter has also just a couple of weeks ago been appointed as Chair of IATA's Board of Governors. So let me take this opportunity first to congratulate him and to thank him for taking the time out to come here and share his views so early into his new role. There are two other excellent speakers on the panel. First, the Chairman of Malaysia Airlines, Tan Sri Dr. Munir Majid, who heads an airline that has transformed itself into a world leader by making those early strategic choices and being an early adopter of the key emerging technologies. Completing our Star lineup is fittingly Jan Albrecht, Chief Executive Officer of Star Alliance Services. It has 27 members from around the world, so Jan has a truly global feel for the issues and challenges facing our industry. After the coffee break, we'll take a further look into the future with a discussion on what I flagged earlier as one of the most promising technology developments on the industry radar, cloud computing. Forming the panel are two CEOs at the forefront of innovation within our industry. First, we have Vivek Badrinath, Executive Vice President and CEO of Orange Business Services. He'll be followed by SITA CEO Francesco Violanti, who, as you know, is the driving force behind SITA's ATI Cloud that we unveiled in March. In the first of the afternoon sessions, we will build on another of the themes I mentioned earlier by looking at the huge influence that consumer technology is having on our industry. We could have no better panelists here today to discuss the topic than two of the industry's leading commentators. To give us an analyst view, we welcome the President and CEO of a research company that is really the leading authority on travel industry trends, Focusrite's Philip Wolf. He will be followed by a man with over 40 years of industry experience, Professor Emeritus at Department of Aviation, Ohio State University, and the author of 6 books on the airline industry, Neville Taneja. In the second panel discussion in the afternoon, we're going to delve deeper into some of the industry's trends and discuss how they can best be exploited. Giving us an insight into these changes are 3 panelists from the airline and airport community. To open this session, I'm particularly delighted to welcome my fellow SITA board member, Dr. Christoph Klingenberg, Senior Vice President of Information Management and CIO of Lufthansa Passage Deutsche Lufthansa. We will then get an airport perspective from Antoine Rostvorovsky, Director Business Development, Aéroport de Montréal. Antoine is standing in for Normand Boivin of Aéroport de Montréal, who cannot be here today. Chinese aviation is already a major transforming force on the global stage, so it's a great honour for us to have with us another of my SITA board colleagues, Chang Li, Managing Director of Information Management at Air China, completing our panel. So, let me finish by saying how important a conference like this is for keeping informed and making sense of the trends affecting the industry. We have to thank SITA for making it possible and being such great hosts for the last 12 years. The fact that it is free to members of the main industry organisations is a very important community benefit in today's commercial world. And I think it really underlines our community philosophy and our commitment to this industry that SITA embodies. Finally, as is traditional, we have Mark Pilling here, publisher from Flight Global and the former editor of Airline Business. Mark is going to be our facilitator for the day. There will, of course, also be an opportunity for you to make your own points and ask questions of the panelists after each session. I really encourage you to do that.